huge card on Slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Bases Loaded on this Friday. It is Friday, May the 8th, 2026. A huge card on Slate today. We got the entire league playing 15 games, no matinees. An evening it will be. It is the afternoon on the East Coast right now. Mike, what's going on, brother?
Listen, every so often we got to have some real talk. The glasses come off. You got to get serious. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little Mikey Money insight right now. One of my favorite things to do is set the table first thing in the morning. I like to mindfuck a guy when he's out there trying to eat his breakfast, having a little coffee, and all of a sudden I take a big shit right in that rent-free head that I own. So let's go. Let's have a fun day today. Let's put the glasses on and get after some Major League Baseball, you guys.
Absolutely. If you guys are in the chat here, it is, of course, early afternoon on the East Coast. It is 9:09 Pacific time. We hope everybody on the West Coast having a great morning. Get your coffee, get in the chat. If you guys are at lunch hour on the East Coast, get a beer. Why not? Let's hang out and talk some baseball on a suddenly not so casual Friday. Big card on Slate today. As I said, 15 games, and let's get down to some business. First game on the card, 6:10 in Cincinnati. Opening up a series, interleague play here. Astros, Reds. Mike Burrows at Nick Lodolo. Bit of a difficult pitching matchup here. Lodolo actually making his first start of the year. And Mike Burrows returning to where he did pitch for the Pirates in this division for the past couple years. Mike, I was going through it before trying to unpack this game. We don't like pitchers making their debut in the season. We also don't like moving parts on the Astros. Do you like anything in this game?
Yeah, so this one's a little tricky because a lot of friends of mine like the under in this game. Just full disclosure, we talk about the card, talk a little bit last night, but predominantly this morning, my morning was fantastic. Nice little breakfast, some nice coffee, the sun's out, got to break the card down, and then bitch slap somebody a little bit. So that being said, though, 66% of the bets and 75% of the cash are coming in here on the Cincinnati Reds. Guess where the line is moving here? I mean, there's big movement on this Astros side of things. It's gone from essentially a plus 100 to a plus 122. A couple things this tells me here. So the Reds, right? When you put them at home and you give them a shaky starter is defined by a starter whose ERA is over 3.5. They smash overs. And so it's a perfect 9-0 this season to the over. And, we talk a little bit about the anomaly in the clusters with these Reds, Shark. Somehow these guys find a way to put the bat to the ball and it gets moving around the track here, but I don't trust in a new pitcher. Now, I will say this, the last 3 or 4 new pitchers that have come out there this season, not say new pitchers, but pitchers making their start for the season have been incredibly successful here. I'm going to go to a little bit of an alternate tack here. I'm going to go to that first 5 for the Cincinnati Reds. Like to have them pick on this pitcher. I think that they can put some runs together. I'm not sure they get there in the long haul. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz is batting a 500 and Ke'Bryan Hayes hitting 500 as well against Burrows, but the rest of them haven't really seen him. And then you got the lefty in the Lodolo side of things here. So give me the team total. And this team total, I think I got it at, it was plus 105 for the Cincinnati first 5 over 2.5.
Yeah, tough game. Honestly, sometimes the first game is not the best game. This is certainly not the best game in my opinion. As I said yesterday, the Reds really are, to use the words of Denny Green from the Arizona Cardinals. They are who we thought they were. And I mean, here we are about a week and a half removed from a real deep conversation we had about run differential. The Reds are in the cellar now in the NL Central. They were in first place like a week and a half ago. They're still over 500, 20-18. Nice little minus 30 run differential. L7. This is the beauty of data. It tells you a story, and it really is how you predict the future. The future is now. Ultimately, I think they're kind of on the mean, however. I think that they've lost a little too many in a row. I think Lodolo's a high upside pitcher. I could see the Reds actually winning this game tonight. We don't like them long term. Don't like this game. I'll defer to Mike on this one. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, 6:40 p.m. Rockies, Phillies, opening up a series in Philadelphia tonight. Very interesting matchup. These teams actually did face off in Colorado earlier this year. Phillies scooped 2 out of 3 at Coors Field. Now we get a good pitching matchup tonight. Jesus Luzardo against Chase Dollander. Mike, we're talking before the show about this kid, Chase Dollander. Here's another guy, East Coast product, young guy from Georgia, back on the East Coast. I think he might pitch well tonight. What do you think?
Stellarly low number here. I don't even know if stellarly is a word. Did I just make that up here? 7.5 on this total with these guys pitching. And you look at this and you kind of got to peel back the onion a little bit. You see Luzardo's coming in here with a 5.09 ERA, but pretty solid start his last go round at it. And look, you want to fade the Rockies. It's been a profitable thing. Of course, we're not splitting the atom here. We're just telling you guys a fact. If you fade them on the road, you're 249 and 117 over the last 7 seasons. So not a lot of success in getting involved with these boys. But I will say this, the Phillies, left-handed home favorites opening a series, have been incredibly profitable over the last 2 seasons. I got a little double down action here. I like the under in this game. I like the under, a Dollander under on top of this thing. You and I were talking a little backstage, Shark. This young feller comes in there and look, if you put him on the road, he's a perfect 11-0 to the under. So I looked at this and said, I like the first 5 under 3.5. It's a plus money tag. Cautionary though. Listen, yesterday, got to be transparent about the action. I gave you guys 2 winners yesterday. I gave you that strikeout prop over 5.5 was nice, plus 111. I gave you, what else did I give you guys? There was something else in there that came through for us. But my point is this, what didn't come through is that Phillies first 5 under 4.5. So they got abused. It was 4-0 in the first inning. So I'm a little cognizant of that here, but I do like this under first 5, 3.5. Believe that was even money. I'm going to go with the game under. I kind of like the Phillies in the first 5 of this thing here with Jesus as well, but lower scoring affair for me. So let's take some unders.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of stuff in this game. I like the Rockies to win the game outright, and I certainly love plus 1.5. This is really where you want to back Chase Dollander. This kid is great on the road. He's 3-0 straight up road outside of the division this year. 9-run win at Toronto, beat Houston 3-2, and only start at this division NL East Sunday, April 26th at the Mets. 3-0 win against Kodai Senga as a similarly huge underdog. Mets laying about 2-1 on the money line, what you're seeing tonight. And I think Philadelphia's a little too hot. Managerial change, 7-1 first 8 under Mattingly. Took a 12-1 loss yesterday, which we suggested the A's would get them there. Maybe not by 11 runs, but certainly by some emphasis. I think it's a little flat spot for Philly. Took a loss yesterday. 2 nights ago, they actually backdoored the game on a Jeff McNeil booted double play ball in the 8th. So they weren't particularly impressive 2 days ago either. Now you get the Rockies for 3 before going back on the road. And we try to handicap psychology in baseball. Is it important? Is it not? But when you play the A's and the Rockies back-to-back at home, that is not exactly murderer's row here. This is not the Braves and the Yankees. So I think it's a little flat. I think it's Friday night, and it's where they're going to be flat. And, Mike, correlating to what you said about the under, this is the 7th road game for the Rockies at the NL East this year. They're 6-0 to the under at this division, and this really is zooming further out. This is just a team that hits at Coors Field every year, and they don't hit on the road. These games are incredibly consistent to the under. At Miami, 3 games, Friday through Sunday, 2-1, 4-3, 4-3. Also Friday through Sunday at the Mets, 4-3, 3-1, and 3-0. And final point on this game, zooming even further out. This is campaign 2 for Chase Dollander. Since last year, he's 6-2 versus a plus 1.5. And he is an absolutely consistently great road pitcher. 32 1/3 innings pitched, only 13 earned runs, road outside of the division since last June. I got great data on this. It's Friday. I'm going to give you guys one more point. Jesus Luzardo actually did pitch against the Rockies in Colorado, a game that Dollander did pitch in as a relief pitcher, 4 1/3 innings pitched. Talk about line functionality. Philadelphia was favored on the road, minus 250. And now they're favored at home, minus 219. This should be inflated at home, not deflated. And what that is the books agreeing with everything I just said. I think the Rockies win this game outright. I also see an under. Take plus 190, take plus 1.5, and take the under. 3 officials in this game. We're making a big dog game out of a bunch of nothing on this Friday. Let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Athletics Orioles opening up a series this afternoon into tonight at Camden Yards. Jacob Lopez at Kyle Bradish. Kyle Bradish coming off an injury. Jacob Lopez actually pitched in this division to start his career with the Tampa Bay Rays. Now he's with the A's. He's a little inconsistent on the road. Bit of a tough game here, Mike, for me at least. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you here. 6.6 ERA for Jacob Lopez. Bradish comes in with the 5.03. Small little price tag here for this Baltimore side of things here, but it kind of, look, the A's, they put runs up in bunches. And so I had a deep dive into this situation here. And Orioles love left-handed pitching, especially if the last game went under. They have found themselves a friendly little positive vibe there. But the A's, the Athletics, come into a series and the overs have been smashing. The first game of a series for the Athletics last 4 years, boys, 50 games, 29-18 to the over in those spots. So I was kind of looking at these two and thinking Bradish coming back. He's been a little busted up. Athletics first game of a series. Now they did score an absolute shit ton yesterday. So teams after putting up 12 runs or more, well, they do find themselves in a little under trend, but that's an L2. So rather than expecting Baltimore to contribute to this thing, I just thought Athletics team total over 4.5 here. And again, even money play.
Yeah, as I said, tough game here. Bradish actually has looked better at home this year. Very distinct polarization so far. Not very good on the road. Coming off a road loss, again, didn't look very good. Most of that 5.03 ERA is actually the inflation of his road environments. He will pitch better tonight. Lopez, for me, is really the wild card here. As I mentioned, he used to pitch in this division with Tampa Bay. You start to look at his road starts. Sometimes he looks great. Other times he looks terrible. And there's not a lot of predictability. It's not like in and out of the division. It's not time zone driven. It really is just kind of any given day with this guy. So for me, this is very unpredictable. I will defer to Mike on this one, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 7:07. I always find this interesting, how these teams start their games at all these random times. We can't all be at 7 o'clock. We need to be at 6:10, 6:40, 7:05, 7:07, 7:10. It's beautiful stuff. But Dylan Cease at home against the Angels, matchup 2. Cease did pitch on the road against this team, win 5-2 earlier this year. We got data here. It's an inflated line for the Blue Jays. Detmers does pitch reasonably well on the road. Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, look, you got this Jays team that's not really consistent whatsoever. They look pretty flat in a lower scoring affair against Tampa Bay. So how much of that blends over? Big thing for you guys to recognize, right? Maybe 18% or so. 18% of the league comes in here and they have left-handed pitching. I believe that's the number, 18%. So what that means is you don't see the lefty very often. And more often than not, what happens as a lefty, I'm a guy that throws left-handed. The spin rate's different. The trajectory is different. You hear guys talk about it in the NFL all the time, right? Like the wide receiver, the ball comes in at a different flight path when it's the lefty tossing it downfield. It makes a lot of sense. And that's the Detmers advantage out there. So game one, you bring out the lefty. Now, I don't know about Detmers versus Cease. I'm a Dylan Cease fan. He's got the great numbers. Look at that K to innings pitched ratio. It's tremendous, which kind of suggests lower scoring. But the lefty advantage against the right-handed pitcher, the dog is a lefty. They're winning about 54% the last 2 years. It's good enough to be good profit. It's good money. 73% of the bets and 54% of the cash have come in on the Toronto Blue Jays. The lines come down 11 cents. So in other words, plus 138 for the Los Angeles Angels feels like a really solid bet to get involved with here. I wouldn't even be mad to first five it as well, coming off that situation here. Now shutouts off of favorites. We like to see teams bounce back off the shutout, but I think today's a good opportunity for us to take the Angels.
Yeah, tough game for me. I honestly, as I mentioned, Cease did pitch against the Angels earlier this year. I just looked it up. It was actually a heads-up matchup. Detmers was the starter for the Angels that night out west. Detmers might give up a couple home runs here, in my opinion. Vladdy Guerrero got him on the road, and we know this goes down that road very often where hitters just understand pitchers. It's their delivery. It's how visible the ball is. It's their pitch sequence. I think Guerrero could get a home run tonight. Obviously, get plus money on that, about plus 400. Just a little flyer play there. I could see him going yard if you guys want to gamble on that. Friday night in Toronto. Mike likes the Angels, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, going to Boston. Back to Boston. Yesterday we missed this one. Trying to fade the Rays has become Very difficult territory. Can we do it tonight here? Conley early against Jesse Schultens. Early is 0-5 in his career at Fenway Park, Mike. This is really the ultimate buy low. The guy has never won at home in his career. It looks like the Rays are never going to lose again. Can we get to Boston tonight?
You know, I'm mad. I'm really mad last night that we didn't take advantage of that Tampa Bay spot. Not just because they've been red hot, but what's the biggest thing that we look for? Weather. If we have weather, that certainly compromises maybe the outcome of the game. The second thing is changing the pitching rotation. And that's what they did to early and pulled the old flopperoo yesterday. So Boston comes out flat. Now they did tie it back up. It was tied at 3, and I was thinking, all right, maybe here we go. But then I text you and I said, Tampa Bay's a wagon, and they fucking just went out there and clubbed them, the old baby seal treatment. So now here comes early. You change this rotation. You're messing with this guy's head. You got Tampa Bay rolling in here. I'm not going to fade Tampa Bay at this point here. I think the Red Sox can certainly go out there and continue to choke here. Maybe they do come out there and pull it off here, but I think that they played trickery with this pitching rotation, and that's just bad juju for the squad. So I'm going to take advantage of Tampa Bay. Look, against the division, they've won 7 in a row. They've been taking down everybody that's in front of them out there. And look, dogs, game 2 with a total over 8. They're 71-67. Not the biggest of win percentages, but slight edges. And Shark, you and I talk all the time. If we can find a coin flip and we can try to sway it in our direction to figure out what makes a lot of sense, then that's the way I want to take advantage of it. So Tampa Bay, give me a shot here. Plus 122. Nice little money on this thing. Sharp respected betting action coming in on Tampa Bay as well.
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting that the Sharps are on, truly what would be a public handicap as well. Obviously, public just loving teams that are on heaters. So that is interesting to see a merge marketplace there. In terms of the total in this game, I could actually see more runs. I think both lineups could tee off here reasonably well. The best look in this game for me would be the over. Conley early has been an under pitcher so far this year at home in the division, but limited. Only one start against the Yankees on Tuesday, April 21st, 4-0 final. He was not particularly good in the game. So I think you're going to see an uptick here in the runs scored. Ultimately, I would look towards the over in this game. I wouldn't disagree this is a Rays line. I could see the Rays winning this and eventually Boston maybe winning over the weekend, obviously in what is a 4-game series. So looking towards the Rays and the over, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, going to Miami. Marlins Nationals, game 1 of this series. We told you last night the Marlins would get off the schneid. They would avoid the sweep. They did it in pretty crazy fashion. A walk-off in the 9th on a 2-out double followed by an error to score a run. I got to be honest, I was thrilled with that. Having lost some coin flips personally in my cards last week, it felt good to win a coin flip. Now they get a rookie pitcher on the bump tonight, making his major league debut, I believe, against the journeyman Foster Griffin. Mike, this is a series opener yet again for the Marlins. What are they doing tonight?
You know what they got in Miami, Shark?
A lot of things. Strip clubs, women, booze. Miami
Griffin comes into this one here. You guys know that I'm a big fan of the Nats' first 5 team total overs. I think we did find a time to jump off the train. So Snelling's making his debut. You're right about that. And I put down some numbers here for this guy because I wanted to point him out. He's got 6 starts on the card. Okay. Now it's AAA. So, you kind of have that blend of, journeyman, kind of developing players. And then you've got kind of the young phenoms trying to come out there. And so it's interesting timing that they picked now to give him this debut. Gave him 6 starts, 44 strikeouts. He's averaging over 7 Ks a game. And then look at his ERA. It's a 1.86. Now, obviously it's going to be a bit different coming to the show, getting an opportunity here against a team like the Nationals, but we look for the edge. We've talked about the Marlins not being a first game of a series team, but I think in this case here, without the tape being on this kid, they have the advantage. Left-handed pitchers, home favorites, opening a series. They're on a nice little 249 and 130 run right now. So huge numbers over the last 2 years. And there's that lefty factor. You just don't see him a lot. So couple not seeing him a lot with a guy that has no tape out there in the bigs. I liked Miami in this case here, despite it being the first game of the series. I think we can get away with a nice little home favorite spot here. It's moving pretty considerably in their direction for what it's worth as well. 57% of the bets, 81% of the cash are on the Nationals, and the Nationals open at plus 100. They're now sitting at plus 127. So I'll lay this chalk here, minus 133 for the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm kind of confused by this game, but one thing that does lead me towards the Nationals, Foster Griffin here is 4-0 on the road, and he's also 4-0 first five on the road, 2-0 in the division, 13-2 at the Phillies, 3-1 at the Brewers, 8-7 Pittsburgh, and 2-1 at the White Sox. And we talked about this with Foster Griffin a few times. He's 30 years old. He pitched over in Korea for a few years. He's really had time to craft himself. And I was listening to some tape about this guy. Apparently, he's just a real student of the game. Like in every half inning, he's looking at tape. He's trying to adjust. He's talking to the pitching staff and the coaches. So he's like a really high level competitive and also really dedicated type of player. And that's where you're seeing consistency, but it's also connecting with something that I said going back about 3 weeks with the lineup backing this guy with runs. And at the time, I said oftentimes lineups will show up for a guy because they like him as a person. And it seems sort of speculative, but here's your confirmation. Guys like to show up for other guys on their team who they know care and are real students of the game. So this actually makes sense. You talk about this pitcher for Miami. As we said, Major League debut. He was drafted a few years ago, 2022, 39th overall by the Padres, coming out of high school in Nevada. I got to be honest, again, knowing nothing about this guy, I don't love the spot. Debut in Florida Friday night from Vegas originally, taking Chris Paddock's spot here. My best look in this game, and I think I'm going to be in VIP with this as well. I'll give it to you guys for free. I think the Nationals' first five is a look in this game. I think Griffin is going to continue to do what he's been doing all year. I think Snelling could struggle. Going to give you guys Nats in the first five, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 7:15 Apple TV, Progressive Field, Cleveland, Ohio. Twins, Guardians opening up a series tonight. Divisional baseball, AL Central. Connor Prelip at Parker Messick. Two young pitchers. Prelip campaign one. Messick came up last summer. Looked great going 5-0 before losing his previous two starts. Mike, I was looking at this guy before thinking to myself, is he cratering down or is he bouncing back? Any thoughts on this one?
I mean, we've got AL Centrals, right? You guys know I've said it time and time and time again. I don't know that you need to pick the side. I think you just pick the total here. I'm going to take this one up to an under 8 at -115. I don't like the 7.5s. I always like to have the option for the push in this game here. But, you know, I want to get there with Cleveland Guardians. -132s have moved to -138. 79% of the bets, 82% of the cash have come in on the Guardian side of things here. And you've got this number running away from the Minnesota Twins. +110, now +133. So for what it's worth, the action's coming in on the Guardians, and they're trying to get more action back there on the Twins to even out their books and their liability. Doesn't mean it's the end-all be-all, but, you know, look, Messick's been playing pretty well. AL Central Division, the favorite in game one of the series has a commanding 68% win rate over the last 22 seasons. So favorite for a reason. You fade the Twins. Here's that lefty factor as well. 5 straight wins if you fade the Twins against a lefty. So I'm going to take the under 8. I'm going to look at this first 5 as well with the Cleveland Guardians. Haven't officially gotten there. We'll see what happens as we get closer to game time. But the first 5 sit at -135. I want to try to isolate that lefty-righty situation and Messick at home with the boys that like playing behind him out there. I think it's a good-looking spot.
Yeah, as I said, the tough game for me. We're very limited in the data category for Prelip. Only, I believe, his 4th start of his career. Messick, obviously, incredibly high upside, almost threw a no-hitter a couple of home starts ago against Baltimore. Did give it up in the 9th inning, but this guy's an incredibly high-quality pitcher. I think he could win the game. I think it's overpriced. I think it's a tough game. Ultimately, we'll leave it at that, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, more divisional baseball tonight. Back-to-back divisional games, AL Central. Mike, I have a hat on. Give him a couple comments, and we will dive into it.
Yes, sir. Look, great tag. You talk about the pricing. Here's the concern I have a little bit. If you want to put a pro on the side of Kansas City, I've been kind of dogging them, talking about, you know, their lack of performance, their lack of consistency. And, you know, the last 2 weeks or so, the last 10 days, as you zoom in, you know, they've been putting some runs on the board. So you got to respect some of that performance with Bubic here. But Montero's been firing too. Look, they put up, you know, it was a losing effort to Cleveland, but they put up 5 runs the last game. They only got a 1 spot. Then they won 2 games with a 5 and a 6. They put up a 4 to win against Seattle. They put up a 3 to win against Seattle. They put up a 7 to win against Seattle. So I guess I got to stop dogging this Kansas City side of things here from a runs perspective. But I know that there is buy hat engagement. And look, the Tigers talk about that lefty. They're one of them teams that seems to find a way to get after it. They can bang away on lefties, 36-17 over the last 5 seasons in division against left-handed pitching. So I'm looking at the Detroit first 5, but I will defer to the buy hat. Talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, I put it on before the show, but here we are. I'll take it off and put it back on. The buy hat is engaged. Take the Tigers on this Friday, plus 127 money line. I think the Tigers get the win, and it is a nice little handicap. You're looking at the Tigers coming off a sweep at home against Boston. 3 straight, 5-4, 10-3, 4-0 shutout on Wednesday and a day off. So you get swept, you get a day off, you get a refresher, and now you get to go play in the division in a matchup that should be data abundant and a focus point for the Tigers. Not only that, the Tigers have been swept 2 times already this year, and they are 1-0 following a sweep in both environments, 2-0 overall. So they do bounce back off a clearly disastrous series prior. You talk about this division. This division is one word currently: mediocre. The first place team is 20-19. The last place team is 16-22. 3.5 games separating 5 teams. 4 of the 5 minus run differential. Who is the only team in the division with a plus run differential? Your Detroit Tigers. I think the Tigers are a bye team in this environment. I think they're a bye team within the division. And final point on this, look at Kiner Montero here, 25-year-old from Venezuela. I was saying to Mike before the show, last year he looked actually pretty terrible. And I didn't really know who he was. And I was watching the World Baseball Classic in March, and he was pitching for Venezuela. And I thought, why the hell is that kid pitching for the national team? Clearly, he's better than I thought he was. He is. You go through his starts this year, 2 earned, 0.43, 3.1. He is sitting on a 3.48 ERA. These pitchers did face off against each other beautifully for this matchup on Thursday, April 16th. Detroit did win the game at home. Tight, high-scoring game, 10-9. Montero pitched much better in the matchup. And final point on this is line functionality. Bubic on the road was minus 120. Same pitchers, same teams a month later. You should be minus 155, minus 160 here. It's pulling south. It's pulling towards Detroit. Everything is on Detroit tonight. It's a great buy low. Take it and let's cash. If you guys are in the chat here, we see you guys in the chat. Nicholas Straight Hippie says, happy Friday. Hope your day is going good. I like that. Strong and centered. Stop Geo in the house. Thunder Strauss Sport W's. Yes, sir. I'm the great. If you guys are in the chat, drop your comments, guys. Say what's up. You know, if we were all hanging out in person, you wouldn't go hide in the corner. Don't staying off the chat is like hiding in the corner. Say what's up to us. High energy on this Friday.
And you know what? Good reminder. Speaking of that, if you're hiding in the corner, the least you could do is smash the thumbs up button. Show some support for the squad, man. Let's plus the action, you guys. Let's get a big like count going here today. Good vibes, creating goodwill as we go into the weekend here. TGIF. If you haven't done so, grab a thumbs up for us and show some support for the work that Shark and I are putting in.
We appreciate that. Appreciation is appreciated, and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Big dog baseball tonight in Milwaukee. Yankees on the road at the Brewers, opening up a series here. Max Fried at Jacob Mizorowski. It's 2 very high upside teams and pitchers. Like, I was handicapping this before, and I thought to myself, the Yankees just seem to win every game. I mean, they're just that good. Is there any chance they lose this game? What do you think?
All right, so I got 2 plays that I'm going to just automatically take, and I'll explain them to you guys here. Not going to beat the chest about it, but if Max Fried is fucking Superman, why is Superman coming in here priced at minus 122? Furthermore, 82% of the bets and 79% of the cash are on the Yankees. They opened at minus 141. They're down to minus 122. So you got the stud of baseball out there, probably the most profitable pitcher over the last 3 years in aggregate. Coming in here with a Yankees team that's been red hot. And I'll tell you what the problem I have here. You're dealing with the Milwaukee Brewers ace and Mizorowski, right? Look at his K to inning pitch number. It's actually more competitive than Max Fried. On top of that, you back into the fact that half these Yankees offense are hitting like 250 or worse, right? So they're really clustering. And, you know, Shark, you talk about the cluster effect, man. when the Yankees do fire off, they put bombs together and they put runs on the board in multiples. They'll have bases loaded and they'll just kind of get in a little groove. But you separate that one or two particular innings, and as a whole, they're just an average offense. And I know that's kind of hard to say here at a big picture, but we're looking at 9 innings of body of work, not just one or two big splashes. And they're getting the wins, and I respect them for that. But I'm going to take a shot with a plus 117 on the Brewers here to open the series off. I don't suspect the Brewers win this series by any stretch of the imagination, but the 7's telling us it's going to be a lower output. We saw a shit ton of runs yesterday by the Yankees on top of that. I'm comfortable here with a Milwaukee Brewers spot. I'm not going to fuck around with Fried in the first 5, but I think over the entirety of the work here, plus 117 for the Milwaukee Brewers is good money.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, it certainly looks like a short number here given the records. Tough game for me, honestly. One thing I was looking at here, given the total being low, Fried is actually 3-0 to the under, road outside of the division. However, Mizorowski games at home outside of the division have gone 3-0 versus the over against the American League. I do lean towards the under because I think that Fried unders find more sustainability. 7-0, 5-0, 4-2. Whereas you look at the Mizorowski overs, he went over 9-7 against Toronto against Gaussman. He only gave up 2 earned runs in 5 1/3, and the game just completely exploded late. So evaluating that, you think it was an outlier result at final. Also over against Tampa Bay, similar story. The final got to 8-2. 6 innings, only 2 earned runs for Mizorowski. So again, outlier overs at home for Mizorowski, sustainable unders for Fried. I think Fried and Jacob here will tighten up against each other. And one final point on the under here. Talk about line functionality. Maybe a little abstract, but I don't think so. Last year, Fried actually pitched against the Brewers at home. It was the opening series of 2025. Actually, Fried's first start for the Yankees. Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Mike, you're not going to believe the final score of this game if you don't have it in front of you.
I don't.
The Yankees won the game 20-9.
Oh, geez.
That is by far the highest total of a Max Fried start in his career. That is New York Giants beating the Green Bay Packers 20-9. That is ridiculous. And Fried kind of got an outlier result. 4 unearned runs on his record there. And it was Nestor Cortez pitching for the Brewers going back to Yankee Stadium where he was incredibly uncomfortable. So this is really the polar opposite. It's a lower line number. The line in that game was actually 9. So book C year 1 Fried, total 9 at home, 29 runs. And don't even keep it in the same range of 9. Move it down 2 runs to 7. Telling you, 4 unearned runs, Nestor on the road. This is Friday Night Baseball in Milwaukee with Jacob Mizorowski. I think it really is a nice looking under in this game. I see 3-2 final either side of this game. I'll give you guys the under. It's a very sharp look. Take the under. Mike likes the contrarian side. I wouldn't disagree. Brewers as well. Let's cash and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. More baseball in the center of the country. Mariners traveling to Chicago to open up a series here. Right field, Chicago, Illinois. Emerson Hancock at Sean Burke. Tough game here. White Sox are a bye team. Hancock is a bye pitcher. 14 Ks in his previous start. Somehow didn't get the win thanks to yet another blown save by Anthony Munoz at home in the Pacific Northwest. Mike, I was handicapping this game. A couple games on this card. I really thought I could argue either side of the game. Can you find any clarity in this one?
I kind of just want to get involved. I don't want to be in the White Sox business here today. I know we talked about, fancying ourselves the White Sox whisperers here, but I think Seattle's got too much moving in their direction right now. And, I'm going to give you guys a player prop for this one. I'm going to go to Herbie Hancock here for the over 5.5 strikeouts. Dude's been on fire. The thing that we're looking for, I gave you guys some of the metrics that I use to build the algorithm when it comes to pitching, right? 23% is kind of like that. 21 to 23% is kind of like the middle line out there. And so Herbie Hancock here has got a 28.9% strikeout rate. Then I look at the Ks per innings and it's north of the 1.0. He's got 9.9 strikeouts for 9 innings. So collectively you're playing a Chicago White Sox team who, guess what? Top 3 strikeout target in baseball. Against righties, they strike out 25% of the time. So not to get too detailed into, how I just think if you look at those factors, how did the White Sox win this game? I mean, a miracle, an anomaly. Fucking Emerson Hancock gets struck by a bus on the way to the stadium. I don't know, but 5.5 strikeouts. I'm certainly not rooting for that. I'm going to take the bus. That is, I'm going to root for the 5.5 strikeouts here. It's a plus 125. Look, overall, this guy, I think he can get that 6. I don't think that's much of an issue for him here against this White Sox team. Everything's lining up to take a nice Emerson Hancock over 5.5 strikeouts plus 125.
I wouldn't disagree. As I said, 14 in his previous start. I think it's going to be a pitcher's duel to a certain degree, actually. Last time Hancock pitched a road game outside of the division, it was in a similar portion of the country at St. Louis. Very low-scoring game, 3-2. He pitched well. I think Emerson Hancock actually is by far the most underrated pitcher on the Mariners staff. You talk about these big-name guys. Yeah. Gilbert, Wu, others, Miller, who's kind of fledgling at this point, and obviously a few others. But I really think Hancock has kind of flown under the radar and is showing who he is now. Sean Burke, same conversation. The White Sox are clearly a buy team. They're very deep. Their pitching staff is deep. They have Davis Martin at the top, Noah Schultz, obviously young Randy Johnson, and others. Kid Sean Burke, very, very solid, 2.72 ERA. I see an under in this game. I see a pitcher's duel. I see something in the range of 5 to 6 runs at final. I wouldn't disagree with the overtake in the case. That, of course, correlates to an under and high pitching efficiency. Take the under in this game, and let's cash. Keeping it moving here. Center of the country, interleague baseball. Cubs Rangers opening up tonight. Globe Life in Arlington. Very interesting spot here. Cubs are absolutely scorching hot. They've won 8 straight, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 straight, and now they go on the road after sweeping a homestand. We said this last night about the Rays had swept a homestand going on the road, and the Rays had no problem winning a road game last night at Boston. However, I think this could be a different conversation with the Cubs. I think the Cubs have had some nice home cooking in Wrigleyville. I think they've won a few games real tight, 2 out of their last 3 in extra innings. And now you go to Texas to face Kumar Rocker, who is a dog, 6'5", 245, home pitcher. I think the efficiency could lean towards Texas here. Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, of course. So Bobby Brown here. This guy, no starts, right? So potential opener situation. And you look at Rocker and you say, man, that if you're looking at this thing from a public perspective, you know that Rocker comes into this as the name brand, Brown, not so much. And then you see, well, wait a minute, the Cubs are a favorite. So we take a deeper look. We know Texas is an under stadium, right? Globe Life is an under festival here. So not a lot of runs. Now you think about it and just take a step back and say, okay, well, put the pitchers aside. We got the opener. We don't know how long he's going to go. We know Rocker's an under. Which offense would I rather back in an under? Which one can I expect to really count on the runs to come from here? And I got to say it's going to be the Cubs. Listen, road favorites against the AL West. The Cubs are one of the most dominant teams in baseball. They're 18-2 over that stretch there. The Cubs favored to win on the road. Best team in baseball. Say it again. Cubs, AL West, favored to win on the road. Best trend in baseball. 90% win rate. And I think you're catching a nice little price tag here. So I'm going to take this Chicago Cubs spot here, but I have a feeling we might be head-to-head and exchanging some text later on.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay the course with the Texas conversation from yesterday. I gave you guys Texas yesterday. Mackenzie Gore was up 2-1 through 5, and then the game somehow finished 9-2. And ultimately, fine, let it be what it is. The Yankees torched the guy in the final 3.5 innings. But I think this is where you want to buy Rocker at home. If you look at Rocker really is a home pitcher. Rocker reminds me of Simeon Woods Richardson, almost to a T. They have almost the same exact numbers. They're both 6'5", right around 250, right-handers, very similar stuff, 26 years old, and both of them are incredibly polarized road versus home. You look at Rocker here. He's already 1-0 last one against the National League at home. This is his 3rd start already this year, home against the National League Central, so we have great data here. He's only given up 3 earned runs in 11 innings pitched. Took a 2-0 loss against Cincinnati, back when Cincinnati was really the luckiest team in the sport in early April. Not because he pitched poorly, clearly, and he did beat Pittsburgh 5-1, we should take note of that. Pittsburgh is far better than people expected here. 4 games over 500 in the logjam quality of the NL Central. I just think this is a good spot to fade the Cubs, as I said. Sometimes it just comes down to fading a streak. 9 straight, mostly at home. As I mentioned, 2 out of the last 3 in extras. And if you look at the Cubs going on the road, off home wins, only one unique spot, which I do think applies here. Going road Friday night at an American League team, Friday, April 3rd, off of a home win. They did lose 4-1 to the Guardians. I think it's a buy low for Texas. I like Rocker here. Ben Brown was a starter, is now a opener / I don't even know. I think they want him to be a starter. They just don't trust his stuff and his consistency. He's mid-20s, 6'6". I saw it before from East Setauket, New York. I think that's Ward Melville High School again. Stephen Matz, Anthony Kay, Ben Brown. I didn't know Ward Melville was just printing starting pitchers.
I didn't know that either.
To Major League. I thought it was a lacrosse school or something. You learn something every day. Ben Brown, do it for New York, just not tonight. Come on, Rocket, get the dub. Disagreement play here, but great conversation.
Dude, 33rd round draft pick. How many rounds do we need for baseball players in drafting here? A 33rd round, dude. Can you imagine how boring it's got to be to just monitor and be a part of the Major League Baseball draft? Oh my God, 33 rounds? I'd be checked out, dude. Tell me who we drafted is what I would be saying if I was part of that organization.
No, I agree. And it really is just the sport. You get 162 games, you have layers of minor leagues, and it's just they don't know who's good really in the draft. It's just as much variance in terms of the games projections, so much variance in terms of player projections coming out of high school and minor league environments. So it's just the nature of the sport. Everything is way zoomed out in baseball. Speaking of zooming out, let's zoom out and go to the West Coast. 9:40, 4 late night games tonight. Mets Diamondbacks opening up in Phoenix, Chase Life Field. Nolan McLean back on the bump on the road against Ryan Nelson. Mike, when I saw this before, I thought very clearly McLean road, great pitcher. The bats back him. He's likable. The same conversation. I got to be honest. I think the Mets probably give a look here. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that spot too. I think we can align with this one. Maybe throw this into the parlay piece here. It's the first game of the series. We want to fade the Diamondbacks. If you guys aren't sure, I'll tell you the numbers again. 58% win rate if you're fading the Diamondbacks in the first game of a series. Not a ton of victories out there, but you put the Mets on the road in the first game of a series. When they get out of City Life, man, it's 29-12 over the last 4 seasons. So yeah, they're getting their guy on the bump. They like to give him some run support. I like that comment you made there about how they take guys serious when they know they take the game serious, and he's got the right K rate to innings pitched ratio. So I think this is a New York Mets spot. We don't have to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, no, totally agree. It's what I said about Foster Griffin. Of course, Griffin and McLean have absolutely nothing to do with each other from the standpoint of the game itself and their careers, but they're both students of the game. You watch McLean pitch. I was watching him pitch a home game recently. The guy's arm angles and his spin are absolutely incredible. And that doesn't come overnight. That comes with a lot of study and practice. So I think the lineup will be ready with him tonight. I also think it's a buy low on the Mets in general. The Mets obviously lost double-digit straight games at one point this year already. They're going to cluster upward, and it's a great spot to fade Ryan Nelson here. Nelson has notable, horrible numbers at home this year. 3 starts, only start at home against a National League East team. He lost the game 17-2 against the Braves, and it was a very similar environment. Braves a very small favorite in that game. He also lost 10-4 against Toronto, did not make it out of the first inning. 8 hits in only 1/3 innings pitched, 8 earned runs. And Sunday, April 26th, 5 innings pitched against San Diego, 7 hits, 2 walks, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs against. He's not seeing it at home at all. Huge pitching edge here. I think the Mets will be on him early and often. I could see the first 5 as well. Mike, any further thoughts?
Yeah, so, Kelly V asked a question there. She said, what about the Coors, leaving the Coors factor? I kind of think that one was a little compromised just in the fact that there was that giant postponement out there. So they did catch a little break with some rest. And, this is their 3rd straight road trip. So, or 3rd straight series on the road. So they're finding wins outside of City Life. And I think Citi Field, I think that's the spot where they can take advantage here. Whereas, again, for the Diamondbacks position, One big win against the Pirates. But really, outside of that, just a cluster. They haven't been putting up runs. They put up a 0, a 4, a 0, a 0, a 2. I think this is a spot where they can take advantage.
Yeah, no, completely agreed. Completely agreed. And just one final point on this. McLean did take a loss against the Diamondbacks at home earlier this year, not because he pitched poorly, however. 6 and a third, only 2 earned runs on 3 hits. Dominant. And the Mets did blow the game in that cluster where they were just blowing every single game. So I think it's a really nice buy spot here to buy them in a much better environment for the team. And he will get revenge here. That will be a real thing. They'll be talking about that. We need to get revenge for this guy. We blew it for him last time. Great spot for the Mets. Take it and let's cash. Keeping it moving here. Doubleheader National tonight. Apple TV second leg. Second game tonight. Second game of this series. Petco Park. Cardinals Padres. You saw it last night. The Cardinals won 2-1 late night. It was after midnight here on the East Coast. I'd actually turned it off. I was in bed getting ready for this fire show. I was actually a little surprised to see the Cardinals pull through, but we did say yesterday Liberatore scrappy and King had been slightly inefficient in terms of actual win rate at home. Tough game here for me. Mike, any thoughts?
Man, the Cardinals as the road dog, right? The Sharp Respected Betting Report hammered that St. Louis Cardinals spot. As did I later in the night there, but it's always tricky when you're getting out early and trying to go through the 10 p.m. starts and so on. But, look, the under, I gave you guys the under on the show yesterday. That was a nice little play out there. I think we see the same thing. Home teams after a lower scoring affair do lead to the under. Griffin gas canning actually did pretty well. 7 strikeouts to 5 innings pitched is quality for me with a 1.8 ERA. I don't like McGreevy and his numbers and the way he's trending right now. I think he's going to be a guy that's a fade candidate as we move further. But what keeps me off the Padres is simply you got them Cardinals as a dog, and that's where they've been barking. So I'll take a lower scoring game here. I think we can catch an under 8. We're catching a little steam right now, though. 85% of the bets, 82% of the cash on this thing here might get me to the San Diego Padres team total over on top of that. But I like the under 8 in this game. I'll take an under 8 for the Padres.
Yeah, I could see it. I think McGreevy's showing continued upside in his career. Canning here, obviously, I believe campaign 1 with the Padres. Small data set, but I could see an under. I don't have anything in this one. Take the under and let's cash. Next game on the card. Big time stuff here out west. Dodgers Braves opening up a series. Chris Sale and Emmett Sheehan. Really just high-level stuff here. I can't really overstate that. This is going to be really a playoff type of series. Both teams have playoff World Series aspirations. Braves are 26-12. Elite on the road, 14-6. Dodgers 23-14, 12-6 at home. Mike, what's going on in this game?
Yeah, so, I told you guys during that Yankees broadcast or the Yankees analysis there, I'm going to blindly fade the Yankees in that price tag because it didn't make sense. I'm going to blindly take the Dodgers in this price tag because it doesn't make sense. Chris Sale's God's gift of baseball. But then when you dig down and you look at it and you see you've got Sheehan again, first rule of thumb I look for is a strikeout to innings pitch ratio north of 1. It is, despite that ERA. And where's Chris Sale not been 100% or not been his best form? On the road. In fact, that's where he's given up his home runs on the season. And so I think this is a big, you mentioned this is probably the best series of the weekend here. It's going to be a lot of big action. The Atlanta Braves bats are red hot on top of everything else here. But I mean, look, right now it's minus 108 for the LA Dodgers at home. Shark, it's the Yankees versus the Dodgers in the World Series. And we're catching the NL representative at minus 108 at home. Think no more, look no further. You found your play of the day with the LA Dodgers minus 108.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I haven't gotten there. I mean, Sheehan is a home pitcher without question. Last home start against the Cubs, 6 and a third, only 1 earned run, 10 Ks. He's going to pitch well. Sale will pitch well. Tough series for me. I'll probably be in there over the weekend with a few official plays. I don't have anything in this one, but one side point on this. I think the Braves maybe are cratering down a little bit. This is a long road trip. This is the 3rd series. This is the 7th game out of 9. Played at Colorado, swept the Rockies. Just lost 2 out of 3 at Seattle. I think maybe there's a little fatigue here. I mean, this team's really hot. It's a long road trip. Could be a tough spot. I could definitely see the Dodgers winning. Mike likes it officially. Take it and let's cash. Final game on the card. Pirates, Giants.
You say, I just question for you. Anything wrong with thinking about that there? Minus 108, Dodgers at home. Am I missing something? Is there something glaringly obvious that I missed in that spot? Because I think I want to fire on that game.
For me, I just think that it's a toss. I mean, like, I think Sale's going to pitch great. When I was looking at Sale earlier, I was actually surprised because I haven't like followed him every single start. I mean, outside of one poor start, 0 earned runs, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I think it's just really giving credit to his quality at this point. So that's really all I got on it. But anyway, keeping it moving here. Final game on the card: Pirates at Giants. Pretty interesting series here, honestly. This is going to be more entertaining than I think people would have thought going back about 6 weeks. Pirates are running a nice little campaign here, 21-17, coming off back-to-back wins at Arizona. Now you get Carmen Lodzinski on the road at Robbie Ray. Ray and the Giants, more specifically, talk about underachieving, though. This is really the most underachieving team in the sport right now. Nobody thought this team was going to the World Series, but they didn't think they were going to be sitting 14-23 in the cellar behind the Rockies in the West. Like, at some point, do the Giants find anything in this season?
It's unbelievable. I talked about it. I think it was that Tampa Bay series a week ago there, just how bad that offense is for San Francisco. And it don't matter who's pitching. They stink. They're up. Now, Pittsburgh, I almost think Pittsburgh, I almost wonder if there's a false leadership thing going on there, just because when you get guys like Skeens, like they must hate Paul Skeens. And you would think it's the opposite, but it's like he's got the Hollywood girlfriend now, and it's all about Paul Skeens, and there's the rest of a team that's getting, I don't know what's going on there. We talk about the culture and the chemistry of some of these organizations. I love your Mets take, as you well know. But I think when you clear that guy out of there, and even Bubba Chandler, and you start looking at guys like Mlodzinski, why not? Look at his innings. Look at his Ks. That's where I start the game here. Then you're playing a team in the San Francisco Rays that can't hit the ball. This number's got 67% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's gone a nickel in the Pirates' direction now to an even money spot. What's alarming is the total, 7.5. Why is it alarming? Well, I guess maybe it's not. Maybe that's not the right term of word here. But again, dashboard, player prop, Mlodzinski. Jesus, do me a favor and switch that Z and that D. Over 4.5 strikeouts. That's a plus money tag right now at plus 110. What do we look for? Well, he's gone over the number in 5 of his 7 starts. That represents over 70%. He's got a 26% strikeout rate. That's north of the 21 to 23% we want to be involved with. And his K to 9 ratio is 10.6. So he's north of the 1. He's playing a team that averages 22% in strikeout ratio. And at the end of the day, for me, I like his 4.5. I think he could probably ladder this thing here, because the big question is, does he go 5 innings? And frankly, he's playing the San Francisco team that, with the exception of that 10-5 game against the Padres, have been just absolutely flat, flaccid, putrid. And I like this over 4.5 Ks plus 110. I think that's a really great price tag.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking at this now, and you said their offense. I mean, this is like incredible, really.
It's terrible, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to imagine that's a major league club.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they've only scored 115 runs. That's 19 runs worse than any other team in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That is unbelievable. The Mets are second worst with only 134 runs, but that's 19 runs better than the Giants. You talk about the Mets also not having Juan Soto and Lindor in the lineup for a little bit. I think part of this is the Giants just, I don't know. I think maybe just having a poorly constructed roster and trying to put together what we always say, kind of putting together like a fantasy lineup from a few years ago in terms of the names. Like Rafael Devers clearly peaked a few years ago. Chapman, maybe slightly better a few years ago. Adames has been around 4 teams in 4 years or something like that. Bader is a journeyman. He's not a great offensive player. And Luis Arraez, clearly their best hitter for average, certainly, is injured currently. So bunch of names, kind of older names at this point, like just guys you would think of a casual fan at the bar putting on their fantasy lineup. Maybe not high upside, but this is just egregious at this point. Absolutely egregious. That's really pretty much the noteworthy point from that one. At some point, are they going to hit? We don't know, but we'll leave it at that. Mike, what was the play on this one?
So I'm looking at the Mlodzinski strikeouts. I got over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 114. I just took a quick look too. So that means he's got to get 5, right? 5 or more at plus 114. 6 or more is plus 247. 7 or more is plus 537. It won't let me go past 8 or more. And that's plus 1140. So I'm going to definitely have a little taste on those ladder plays down the road, but I'll give you the official over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 114. Look, him to get the win is plus 220. Probably what we do see is this is like a 2-2 end of the 5th inning, and it might come early. We might even see a yes run first inning in this spot. And then everybody kind of straightens up and tightens up. So wouldn't be surprised to see Mlodzinski's hanging on to 2 strikeouts going into the 3rd inning. And then it just kind of sees that regression from San Francisco. So I like that K prop. I got 2 K props for you guys on the card, and they're both plus money.
Yeah, no, I certainly would not disagree there. Anyway, that's 55 minutes plus, and we got best bets.
Best bets, my favorite segment of the day. Man, I feel like I got a lot of them on the card today, Shark. I'm going to give you guys the Los Angeles Angels at plus 138. I'm going to give you the Milwaukee Brewers at plus 117. I got to give you the Dodgers at minus 108. I know. And if I lose it, I lose it. And I'm sorry in advance. But I think those are really great. And then you know what? I'll give you a 4th one. Fuck it. It's Fuck It Friday. Let's go. Let's go with the Cleveland under 8 minus 115.
All right. I'll give you guys the Rockies plus 1.5. You can get that right around minus 120. I see minus 117 on Kalshi. That's a great look there. We expect Dollander to compete. Also like the under in that game. Mike, you didn't give the under officially. You did. Oh, you did. Excuse me. You did. The under in that game will also be a best bet, 7.5. I see 3-2 Rockies. And one more.
What'd you get the 7.5 at?
7.5. Let me look now and see what the line is here. Best line we're getting is minus 120.
Okay.
And we'll go slightly later in the card. Taking Washington first 5, right around plus 110.
Okay.
And final one on the card, we're taking the buy hat. Tigers plus 127.
All right. Well, I'll go Tigers first 5. We'll take the first 5 plus a half. I'll take the half a run for the parlay. And where did I say we were collabing? I wrote it down, but then I didn't write it down. I didn't highlight it. We were collabing on.
Oh, the Mets.
That's right. The Mets. New York Mets will be our collab play out there. What do you got for your leg of the parlay?
Let's go with the Mets.
Well, we got that as our collab play, our collab leg.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's go with, let me see here. I didn't really like the late night card. Let's go with the over in the Red Sox game.
Was that 8.5?
8.5, yeah.
Sweet. Nice job, my man. I give you guys 2 player props. I'll recap them for you guys as well. Emerson Hancock over 5.5 strikeouts for Seattle at plus 125. I've got Mlodzinski over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 114. Official numbers out there. It's a big card. It's a big day. It's a big weekend ahead, Shark. Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day out there to one and all. Make sure you do enjoy time with Mama Dukes. Make sure you take her out. Maybe you go to a brunch. Maybe you let her have a little early mimosa, Shark. Get her a little tipsy. What do you think?
Why not? I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. We keep going all weekend, right? But yeah, absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And we appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. That's a little less than an hour, 15 games, a lot of data. These shows cover between 50 and 60 minutes, depending on the amount of games. And ultimately, as we keep going, the data just keeps getting more abundant and more clear. And what is more clear is the show is just getting better by the day. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us Monday through Friday at 12. Have a great weekend. Official plays will be dropping on Winnable and X over the weekend. We will be back on Monday afternoon to start up a new week next week. That is MLB Bases Loaded, Friday, May the 8th, 2026. For Mike, I am the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.